welcome to a small discussion on organizational culture. From the term, you can understand there is in bold it is written culture. So, when you hear the term culture, what comes to our mind is the traditional beliefs, customs, norms, and mores, which is practiced in the country of each and everyone. In India, also, we have a rich tradition, beliefs, norms, and customs, which is practiced in 28 states and 8 union territories in India. Now, what is culture going to do in organizations? That is a question which we have to discuss today. That is, what is organizational culture? Actually, organization culture is a very descriptive term. We will not find an accurate definition for organizational culture because it differs from company to company. Maybe a small business, a medium, or a large business, there will be different cultures practiced by various organizations. Let us see in detail. It refers to a system of shared meaning held by members that distinguishes the organization from other organizations. So you can find that there is no unique, culture for each organization. It differs from company to company. It is like a social glue. Actually, as a glue is used to stick for sticking purposes. So this is a social glue which binds the employees of an organization by the rules and regulations of the company, the traditional beliefs formulated by the founders of the organization, as well as certain norms which is practiced by the company. That is for the well-being and for the betterment of the employees. Each company formulates their organizational culture. You can see here 7 core components of organizational culture. You can see the first component, innovation and risk taking. So, from the term, you can understand these are the general core components which is practiced by any organizations. Okay, so in generally, all organizations can practice, will be having a sort of these core components and which can be customized by company to company. You can see the first point, innovation and risk taking. In the era of globalization and liberalization, we have lots of products in the world. There is, in fact, brand wars going on. So, innovation is very much needed in all sectors for any product or services. And with new innovations or new products launching, there is also equal risk, like whether the customers will accept it or whether they have enough market share and so on. So, you can find innovation and risk taking, the degree to which employees are encouraged to be innovative and take risks. So it's the duty of the top management to encourage or promote the team members to be very creative and to launch products based on the needs of the customers or the community members. So whatever it is, it can be customized products. They can do research on the needs of the customers. For example, now during the pandemic time, we can see many companies who did not have the product line of sanitizers and masks, they started producing it. So it is they can do it because it is the support of the top management which promote the employees to be innovative. In fact, in all companies, there will be research and development wing, R&D development wing. So those team members, along with the marketing division, will be always investing their time and energy for this component, that is innovation and risk taking, which is very important for the organization, and that can be seen as a routine or function of any organization. So that is why we call it as an organizational culture. Now we can see attention to detail, very important. Our skills, the interplay of our skills, maybe it's an observation skills, a research skills, or a computing, analytical skills, very important component in every organization. That is not simply looking or simply reading to the stuff, but what we can do is the degree to which employees are expected to exhibit precision, focused and clear precision, and analysis and attention to detail. So, your observation skills, also the environmental scanning, what you're going to do, maybe the external environment or internal environment or the internal organizational structure, whatever it is, you have to go to the details, you have to study it precisely, clearly, and with focus. This is also one important aspect of organization culture. You can see outcome orientation. Outcome orientation from the picture, you can understand that like you have a target, you have an aim, you have a goal. So you have to achieve it. Maybe they have deadlines, maybe some extra effort has to be put onto it. So whatever it is, maybe you're following a different schedule, maybe a flexi time you're following, whatever it is, more than what the patterns you are at workplace or what kind of process you're going through, major orientation is what results you have produced. Whether you have achieved the target or not, that is called as outcome orientation. That is the degree, the extent to which management focuses on results or outcomes rather than on the technique and processes used to achieve them. So it's basically the how much productive you are, whether the results, whether the MBO principles, management by objectives principles have been applied, and whether you have succeeded or fulfilled the target. So this is also a general organizational culture which we see. Then you can see people oriented. It's pro people companies nowadays, because nowadays company believes a lot in the asset called human resource management. There is a wide difference in companies who does not uh, give monetary and non-monetary benefits to the people, and the companies who give lots of non-monetary, both intrinsic and extrinsic rewards to the people. More than monetary benefits, what matters for the people in a company is the uh, recognition and appreciation which you give to your staff. So that's very important, like how much acknowledgement the people are getting for the tasks. Like we are usually a good organization culture try to focus on rewards rather than punishments. It's a common, a general human tendency that we always look into the faults of the people, but it should not be like that. We have to also take care, also notice the best things your staff has done and reward them appropriately rather than promoting punishment. So this is also one part of organizational culture. Then you can see team orientation. So team, as you know, it's like you individually you can do wonders, but when you do together, it's a synergy, it's a group energy which you produce. It's very important, and also the creativity, the assumptions, the perceptions you have, your knowledge, everything. When you share, no, you will get a very good outcome. So, team orientation is also very important. You can find the degree to which people are aggressive and competitive rather than easygoing. So, you can see aggressive and competitive means you should have a minimum level of stress in your life. That's very important, because if you're simply easygoing and cool, you're not going to achieve anything. So, as part of organization culture, the management also should promote their staff to be having a minimum aggressiveness, that a minimum fighting attitude, and also a competitive spirit than easygoing. You can see the table in which, just for the illustration's sake, you can see how the people are. There are perfectionist, passive but perfectionist, and also you can see on the other side approval seeking. Then you have a normal zone, they just focus on the task, and the people focus, and you can see aggressive people towards this extreme end. You can see they're controlling, they delegate, they get it done as well as get appreciated. So attention getting type people are also there. So team orientation more focus on people foster teamwork, also have some sort of gatherings or some sort of informal get together, so that they have that bondage, they have that cooperation, they have a better coordination. So this is team orientation. Then you have stability. So consistency is another catchword for stability. So along with attaining the goals or the objectives of the organization, it is very important to maintain the status quo. That's also very important. You can see, rather than going for a growth, you of course you can go for growth, but the basic procedures and functions of the management, they have to maintain the status quo. That is what is meant by stability or consistency, which is also a part of organizational culture. And you can see in sum total, just in a nutshell, how organizational culture improves the productivity of the employees and also helps the employees to have better job satisfaction. So you can find it here, seven core characteristics which we discussed in the beginning. Then it will lead to a good organizational culture. It is a positive organizational culture. If the organization culture is high means in the positive sense, like you're following all the components which will help your people uh, to be more motivated, and also they go forward to achieve or practice the core characteristics, you can find they will be better productive. You will get team members who are very good as well as productive employees. And also, it's not only for the organization but for the uh, employees as well. It will help them to have better job satisfaction. So, this is a brief about what is organization culture and how important it is for the organization as well as the employees at the workplace. So, it's the duty and the responsibility of the management to foster a very good culture, a positive culture, which can revitalize the growth and opportunities of the employees, helps the employees to be committed, helps the employees to follow the rules and regulations, follow the deadlines, work on the time limits or time bounds, and also be better productive, as well as they are also satisfied with the job satisfaction. So, with this, I will conclude this talk, the small talk on organization culture. Thank you.